Okay, I am recording. All right, welcome to our first call of February 2017, first team call. And it is Thursday the 2nd. It's Groundhog Day, which I love. Did anybody watch the movie? No? I love that movie. It doesn't get old to me. It really doesn't. So anyway, um, this call, I really wanted to focus on something that I heard on the National Wake Up Call. I hope you guys got a chance to listen to it this week. And if you didn't, definitely get the recording. The call was awesome. It was Jamie Fitzpatrick, who is now a top 10 coach in the network. He and his wife, are from Canada. And they were on our team call, our Diesel Nation team call as guests. And they're awesome. They have a really great story. They were one of the featured stories on the Super Saturday corporate video that was sent out to all the Super Saturdays. But he really talked about how to keep this business simple. And for me, I like to make our team calls about things that I personally struggle with, because I think that's the best way to learn and grow and get ideas and, just move past. So I definitely struggle to keep things simple in my life, not just in this business. I'm a very complex person, very complicated person. My brain likes to think of things in multi-layers, and sometimes things that are very simple just never occur to me. And so, because I'm always thinking about something deeper for some reason, that's just the way my brain is. And for a long time, I felt kind of ashamed of that because I felt like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Or why can't I just be just not so serious? I'm a very serious person. Yes, I love to laugh and I'm corny. Jamie will tell you, she always reminds me of how corny I am. But it's definitely something that I have seen hold me back in a lot of ways in this business, because this business is very simple. And it's not easy to build the business. And we say it all the time. It's not easy, but it's simple. But it's true, because you really do just follow a template system and make it your own. That's really what we do. And I was talking with Kirsten earlier on the phone, and we talked about the simplicity of the business, but also about how we are not representing Beachbody. We are representing ourselves. And so to me, that makes it a lot easier and harder, because we're not cookie cutter beachbodybrown.com coach. We are ourselves, and we happen to have these awesome tools that enhance our life in some way, financially, physically, both, whatever it is. And we are sharing that opportunity for other people to have the exact same thing. And so I loved the call because he really talked about how he trains his coaches. And it's very different from a lot of what we've learned on this team, what I have taught on this team, and what I have learned myself from our upline team. And traditionally, when you come on as a new coach and you're ready to actually start building the business, you get put into a Coach Basics training, and you start learning the ins and outs of how to earn Success Club, and how to, rank advance, and how to navigate your back office. Those things are obviously important. You're running a business. You have to know how to do those things. However, as a new coach, it's a lot of information, and it's very overwhelming. And it's, even though you have your coach hand holding you and saying, whatever pace you want to go, we'll go, it's still a lot of information. It's still overwhelming. I mean, it's just is. So it doesn't mean it's not doable. I mean, obviously it is, but it's, sometimes you feel like you don't know where to start. And when I listened to this call, he said that the way he trains his coaches is to start with the why. And you hear us talk about the why. You hear us talk about it a lot, but I don't think we talk about it enough on our team, starting with me. I don't think I share it enough on my personal page with people who are following me. I don't think I talk about it enough in our team page. I don't think I talk about it enough, period. And it's truly a shame, because, well, that stops now. I am going to make this my focus, because the why behind why you're doing what you're doing is the only thing that's going to make you keep doing it. I am not going to have some amazing team call that's going to just inspire you to keep going for the rest of the year. It might motivate you for the next day, or even the next month. You might be like, oh my gosh, Demetria said something so awesome and it really stuck with me. And I can't wait to build my business. But that's going to fade. It's not anything that I can say, any amazing training I can put together, or, the fact that we're on a flippin' amazing team. I mean, we're on, literally, I think Diesel Nation's Melanie Mitro, Diesel Nation. I mean, come on, you guys. It's ridiculous. Like, we are so blessed. However, it's not anything that they say or do that is going to make us get out of bed every day, work out, drink our Shakeology, get through the day with all the different challenges that come our way behind the scenes and keep going. It's why you became a coach that is going to keep you going, because there are days that this is so much fun and like literally you cannot put it down because you're just helping people and people are responding and everyone's doing great in the challenge groups, and you just love it so much and it feeds your fire and it feeds your energy. And then there's those days where you're like, one, like, no one's posted in the challenge group, no one cares about your little, and then you're just like, why am I doing this? You're gonna have all kinds of highs and lows. And so he teaches his team to dig deep into their why and to share their why at least once a week on Facebook or social media. Now, that said, he didn't mean to share the same story every single week on Facebook. What he meant was to share it from a different perspective, or just share it in a different way from a different angle, but always be sharing it at least once a week, so that the people who are coming across content on your page, they know why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you think about it this way. If everybody on here, we're all Beachbody coaches, right? So we all drink Shakeology. We all do at-home fitness programs. We all hopefully read personal development. There's really nothing about those aspects or those things that set any of us apart from one another. There's nothing different about those things, right? But the difference between me and you is that I've had 2 C-sections and I had a daughter pass away. Well, you guys maybe didn't have that experience. So there's going to be people who relate to me that has nothing to do with drinking a shake and getting in a challenge group, that those people I can build a relationship with and help them, and I'm the one that they need. There are people who are never going to relate to me that are only going to relate to you. So if you're only showing your workout selfies and you're only showing your Shakeology and you're only inviting people to challenge groups or showing people the surfacey part of what you do, I'm a health and fitness coach and I live a healthy lifestyle part, that is part of what you do, and it's a very important part because that's what this business is about and that's who you are. However, there's so many other things that make up who you are that have nothing to do with Beachbody. And those are the things that you need to highlight when you're sharing yourself on your page. And when people know why you're doing, when you're sharing all those things and then you're sharing about coaching or you're sharing about challenge groups or whatever, and then people see that, they're going to say, okay, she's a mom too. She's gone through, she's gone through whatever. She had postpartum depression. She had to go to counseling. She's been through a divorce. She's a single mom. She's whatever it is that makes you unique. She has this type of dog. She is into this type of, comedy. Like, I love stand-up comedies. I love DIY projects, even though I'm not very great at lots of them, but I do love that stuff. I love to just get an idea and try it and see how it works out. And there's things about me that are different. So if they see all that, and then I'm like, you guys, oh my gosh, like I drink this shake because it's so great. They're going to be like, why? Why do you do the things that you do? And so I really want to take his advice and change the focus of how we are sharing ourselves on our social media platforms. I really want to focus on getting better at sharing the why. And to do that, it really starts with doing the why exercise. And it's not easy sometimes to really get to the bottom of your why, because we all want to be healthier. That's all part of everyone on here's why. And if you're at your goal weight, you still want to be healthy. So that's also part of your why. But it's not compelling enough for most of us to hear no from 100 people in a row. It's not compelling enough to say, I really want to lose 10 pounds and I really want to make an extra whatever a month. And so I'm okay with people constantly saying no to me when I invite them to my challenge groups. That's probably not compelling enough for most of us. It really has to be the level of comfort that you have, or the level of willingness to settle for what you currently have. And I'm not saying whatever you have currently now is bad. I'm just saying it's what you have. If you didn't want anything different, you wouldn't be in this business. So if you are in a situation and you want it to change, but you don't want it to change more than you want to get uncomfortable, is, to get to that next level, you're not going to do it. So you really have to know it's got to be something that Danielle McKean always says your why has to make you cry. I don't necessarily think your why has to make you cry. I think your why has to either make you cry, make you really pissed off that you don't have it, or make you really happy thinking about what you would be like if you did have it. I don't think it necessarily has to be like, oh my gosh, this makes me cry, but it does need to make you feel like, you know what I have right now is not good enough. It's not good enough for me. It's good, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful, but I need something different. Because if you don't, and if you're like, yeah, it would be nice to have something different, but I'm making it, I'm okay, you're not going to work hard. You're not going to do this, because this takes grit, grind, hustle. It takes being motivated on days that you are just not. It takes working when you're sick. You have to, but here's the deal. Let me interrupt myself. Working when you're sick, okay? We work behind a computer screen and a phone. So working when you're sick is relative. We're not going out and, laying brick. We are posting pictures on Facebook. So showing up is really a necessity, even when and I'm not saying you're not human. I was sick. You guys know, how many times did I complain about it? You can hear it in my voice. I felt like crap, and there were days that my posts weren't as great as they could be in my challenge groups. I was just kind of going through the motions and I had to get myself together. Life is going to happen. Nothing's going to be perfect. That's not what I mean. What I mean is I showed up every single day, no matter what. I did my posts no matter what. I showed up for my challengers no matter what. I didn't give up on anybody no matter what, even though I myself was like, I just want to hide under the covers and I don't want to freaking talk to anybody. I was just so irritated. But I was like, I want this life that I'm envisioning more than I want the temporary comfort of ignoring people's messages and phone calls and emails, and more than I want to skip in my invites, and more than I want it more than what I have right now. And if I didn't know what I wanted, and if I didn't feel really deeply connected to it and really deeply pissed off that I don't have it yet, then I probably would not work hard. I probably would just work when I felt like it or when it was convenient for me. So if you haven't figured that out yet, you really have to figure that out, because now, if you're okay with just making a little bit of commission here and there, and that works for you, that's your prerogative. You're the CEO of your business. You have that choice. You don't have to want a huge change in your life. But for most of us, that's not okay. Most of us, we either are really needing to change our financial situation, or we're needing to change the freedom that we don't have in our life in some way, whether that's more time with our spouse, more time with our kids, more time as a family, more time to go see family who lives in other states, whatever it is. And for most of it, it's a combination of both. Most of us need more income, and most of us need more freedom in some aspect. So I really want to open it up and see if anybody is ready or willing to share their why, because I want to know where you guys are at, and I'll share mine first so that you feel maybe more comfortable. But I think if you haven't done that yet, you're going to really struggle when life comes your way, because I'm going to tell you right now, life comes your way. You're going to lose people in your life. You're going to have weddings, funerals. You're going to have kids getting sick, job losses. Me and my husband have to move in less than 30 days. You know how pissed off I am about that? Like, I'm pissed. And I'm like, okay, like all I want to do is be like, I don't have time for my business. Like, I have to pack. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to be done packing and moving, and then you're still going to have your business. And then all those people that you didn't talk to, that's it. You have to keep the momentum going. You have to show up no matter what. So for me, I'm like, okay, this sucks. However, it's not always going to suck. 30 days from now, when it's all said and done, and I've yelled at everybody that will listen to me, Michelle and Stacy, you know, I'm going to be yelling a lot. It's like, it's going to be over. And then I'll be like, okay, I made it, you know? So you have to remember what you want now. What you want later has to be more important than what you want right now. It has to. You have to be willing to delay gratification. If you can't do that, it's most likely because you haven't connected to a deep enough why. It can't just be, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you what your why can be, but I am going to tell you this. It can't just be that you want to help people. I'm sorry. It can't just be that. We all want to help people. We all love people. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in this business. You wouldn't. But it can't just be to help people, because you can help people in all kinds of different ways, and you can do it when it's convenient for you. It's got to be something that you currently don't have that you need, that this business will provide for you. That's the only way you're going to do it every single day. So my why, number one, I grew up without a lot. I grew up in a single parent home. I grew up, and I don't mean just material. That's not what I mean. My mom was always spent the majority of her life overweight, and still is. And she basically hid from life because of it. She was not present. She took care of us in a different way. And my mom's a wonderful mom, don't get me wrong. However, she wasn't present in the way that I needed. She didn't help me to be a confident person. She didn't have what it took to give me, because of all of the different things that she was going through, and all the different things, all the different challenges of just being a single parent. She had her own emotional struggles, and then on top of that, had a lot of struggles with my father. So that spiraled into a lot of bad decision making for me, a lot of inferiority complex, never feeling like I was good enough, never feeling, see, now I'm going to cry, never feeling like, you know, just, that I could do something that I decided to do. And so for me, it's like, I have to do this because, yes, of course, we want to get out of debt. That's wonderful. But I know that even if I didn't do this business, we'll get out of debt in some other way. It's not just that. That's compelling for me, but that will happen and it'll be over and whatever. But for me, it's like, I have to show my kids. God, this is so horrible. I hate crying in front of people. I have to show my kids that even though things are difficult for me and I struggle with emotional things and, you know, up and down, that I did it anyways, and that they can too. So for me, it's more about doing something that I pictured and actually following through with that, if that makes sense. So because I want my kids to believe in themselves. I don't want them to see me create a life of fear and live my life based on my fears. And that's all I saw both of my parents do, not just my mom. They just gave into all of their fears, and they still do. And for me, I can't have, you know, so I was a product of that environment. You know how that goes. So then you have to unlearn all this stuff that you learned. And that's a process of a difficult one. It's hard to do. But I want them to always know that they can do whatever they decide to do. And that has to start with me. And I've got to set goals and reach those goals because I didn't give into my fear. I spent a lot of my life giving into my fear, which led to, you know, horrible decisions and just, I mean, all kinds of stuff that I won't get into on the call, but just a lot of negative choices that I made because I didn't believe in myself and I didn't think I was worthy and I thought I was less than, and I had an inferiority complex and all these things so I made broken decisions because of it. And my parents did the same thing. And I just can't have two children and bring two kids into this world and just repeat that behavior. And this business to me has provided such an opportunity to step away from all of the way that I was to become something that I really can be. And it really has nothing to do with fitness and Beachbody, you know, and Shakeology. And although they're amazing, I love them. I mean, I've done so many different fitness things. I'm a certified personal trainer. Trust me, this is so legit. It's not even funny. However, it's not about that. For me, it's about, I have to break the pattern of giving into fear. And I know that this business is going to be my way to prove that to myself and to just provide a completely different legacy for my family than was left to me and was left to all the other people in my family. So that's my why. So I'm going to open it up, and if you guys want to share, then that would be cool.
Okay, well, that was a tearjerker. Thanks, Demetria.
Sorry.
Sorry. I think, I mean, my why is pretty strong, and Demetria probably, well, you guys read my post, but when I lost my dad.
Uh-oh. Stacey, I think you froze.
Am I frozen?
You're good now. I can hear you.
Decided to check out and leave us, like, meaning like he took his own life and left me 14 anymore because my why was gone, you know, and I felt very kind of like an orphan on the church doorstep, honestly, and I didn't really know how to walk, and I was really scared. Honestly, I had panic attacks. I lost way too much weight. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Demetria was there for a lot of that time of my life, and I was really lost. 9 therapy before my daughter was born. She'll be 18 months. You know, going back and forth on medicines. A doctor telling me that I was bipolar. I mean, insane. I told my husband I didn't want to marry him. I've been 20 years. I looked him dead in his eyes and I said, I don't.
Oh, I think you froze again, Stace.
Just couldn't touch base with myself. But my why is really simple. It's because of my dad that I learned my greatest lessons in my life, even though it was the hardest lessons I ever had to learn. And I had to back to where I am today. Doing what I do for Beachbody kind of made me feel like my old self again before I lost my dad. I can't really explain all that. It's a long, long story. But what I can say is that if I didn't have this group of women in this group here and my health back and my mental health back, I really owe a lot of this to this company. And my why is to make sure my kids, just like Demetria, grow up with somebody who's very present and is able to handle situations when they come their way. My dad couldn't handle being unemployed for a year. He couldn't handle it. And when he left, he said, sorry, only way out of 1 year unemployment, Greg. That was it. That's all I got. And I could never leave my kids. Like, I know he was trying to protect me. I get that. I've gone through those motions, but I can never leave my kids, and I will never fail them and say, I can't do it. I'm leaving. I'm walking out on you, or God forbid, whatever. I'll never do that. And so I think my dad taught me, just, you have to believe in yourself. What you're doing is right. And the day my dad died, he looked me dead in my eyes and he said to me, before I walked out of that house, he said, Stacy, why do you follow the crowd? I said, I don't know. And he goes, you need to knock your shit off. You need to stop following the crowd. You need to be your own leader. you to do what you need to do and forget everybody else. And I'll never forget that day at my kitchen table when he told me those words. And that's when I decided, and it took me until Beachbody to actually get that concept. So it was a continual lesson that I'm still learning because of my father.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So you have to take your bads and know that there's a hell of a lesson to be learned, and it's a good one. And I hate that he's not here to see my, he didn't get to see my wedding. He didn't get to see my kids being born. He didn't get to, he didn't get to see anything. But what he is seeing is somebody who will never give up on themselves. And he helped me get to where I am with Beachbody. I believe in that. So that is my why, to never back down, to never not believe in myself, to give myself a fighting chance. And I think we're all worth it in this group. All of us are worth it. Every single one of us. Mm-hmm. If you think you're not, you are. Your story is a valid, true story. That your own story has so much power to give you such strength in this business by just being your own truth. It's kind of another therapeutic way to healing your soul. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like what I do here so much, because I can feel with myself and share it, and people are responding, and there's no of my whys. I have a lot more, but that's
Thank you. Yep. I mean, it is. It's so funny because it's like I thought I got into the business Michael was in between jobs and I was the only income at that point, and my income wasn't enough to cover all our bills, and we had just moved, and I mean a million things. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to leave little Michael, because I was full-time working, but I worked full-time from home. My boss let me take my job and work full-time from home. So I was like, I'm present already at home, and I want to still be present full-time at home, but how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I need to get a different job, more income or something. So that's really how I started. I remembered Lisa telling me about the opportunity, and I was just like, okay, maybe I can make a couple $100 extra a month or something. And that's really what I thought I was going to do. I thought that's what my focus was going to be. And I had no idea that it was going to be like this, like life-changing thing. Like you hear life-changing all the time, but it's like coming out of your comfort zone is no joke. Like, it's like the worst thing ever because it's the best thing ever. It's like you have to do the worst, most uncomfortable thing that you feel like you're going to die. You literally, sometimes in this business, I feel like, oh my gosh, if I feel like I'm going to die. And then I'm like, you just do it. And then you're just like, oh, I'm fine. Like so many things. It's just like, I mean, even team calls, like I used to be like, I don't want to do a team call. Like I ain't trying to talk in front of all these people. And then I'm like, you know what? Like, how am I ever going to get better? By reading up on how to be a better team speaker? Like, I just have to do the flipping team call. And now it's like, I could care less, but it's just, but that's empowering. That's the thing. It's like, if you can push through the fear, there's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And it's like, courage is not the absence of fear. The courage is just doing something while you feel afraid. Because you can still do it while you feel afraid. You don't have to not do it. And I used to always think, I'm not courageous because I still feel afraid. You're going to feel fear. And as soon as you get over that fear, now you're on to a new level. So Joyce Meyer always says, new level, new devil. You have a new level. Now there's a new thing that you're going to be afraid of. But here's the thing. I don't want to live small. I don't want to live, I watched my parents, both of them, and they just shrunk like this. And just because everything was, I can't. And it just to the point where it was just like everything in life was overwhelming to me, and still sometimes is, because I've had that's the only teaching I ever had. And there's no way out of that other than to do something different. And for me, that means whatever I'm afraid of, that's the thing I need to do first. And it's almost like that book, Eat That Frog. Like, if you're going to procrastinate on it, it's probably because you're afraid of it or you just hate it or something. Do it first. Same thing. It's like, if you're scared to do a team call, then do a team call first, like right away. Don't give the fear time to grow, because you're never going to stop feeling afraid until you do it. You're just not. It's like flying in an airplane. You can read all kinds of stuff, like make sure you have your headphones and make sure, until you get on the airplane, you're not going to not be afraid. And you might still be afraid after the first 5 times, but eventually you're going to be like, I got this. And there's no better feeling in the world than that, than conquering a fear. I've lived my whole life in fear. And still to this day, it causes problems in my marriage. You know, my husband's so opposite from me. He had a mom who completely gave him so much confidence. And we were both raised by single parents, but just 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. So sometimes to me, I'm like a foreigner to him. He's like, what is the problem? And I'm just like, but what if, you know, and he's totally different. So I want that freedom there too. I just want the freedom to say yes and to, you know, just trust that it's all going to work out, even if bad things happen along the way. So,
True.
Anybody else want to share any of their why? Everybody's like, head down. No, I'm going to start crying and embarrass myself. Okay. All good, Christy. No worries. Hey. All right, well, I'm going to end the call then if nobody has anything.
He's got an earpiece in, and he's sitting here talking about work. So.
Oh, gotcha. No, it's all good.
I put myself on mute because he's been really loud.
It's okay. We have to share our house with them, you know. All right, well, if nobody has anything to add, I think the biggest focus for us is to start looking on YouTube and see how other coaches share their why. You know, get some ideas if you are not comfortable with how to do this in a way that's comfortable for social media. Obviously, you don't want to be like, you know, I don't know. I shouldn't even say obviously. There's no wrong way to do it. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that we need to start doing it. And I definitely listened to that call, and I was so happy to hear what he said, because he said, you know, before I teach anybody about, you know, the back office and this and that, I hone hardcore into their why and into my own, and I teach them this is what we share. People don't care what you're doing. They care why you're doing it. They want to know, okay, you drink that shake, so what? Why? Why is that so important to you, you know? Or you work out every day. So what? Well, once they know, like, hey, well, I come from a family that has high blood pressure and diabetes and, you know, all this stuff, and I had a parent who passed away, or whatever your story is, it makes a lot more sense to them, and then they can relate in some way. And that's how you find your tribe, because you find the people who also relate to you. And they're like, you know what? I struggle with emotional eating too. I have, you know, this mental health challenge too. Or I have a brother who died in a car accident too. You know, you just don't know. And you Beachbody is part of your life. It makes your life better, but it's not, you are not Beachbody. You are you, and Beachbody makes your life better. The you that you already are. And you're just sharing with people how that happens and how you think it could answer some challenges for them too. Whether that's health and fitness, whether that's financial, whether that's emotional, whether that's they never had anybody support them ever in their life. Guess what? You become part of Beachbody, you have a whole bunch of people who have your freaking back. Like, that's huge to me. I never had that. I always had catty girls who were competitive and jealous, and like, that's why I always thought, I don't like girls. I want to be friends with guys. No, I don't. I don't nobody want to be friends with men. Who understands them? Like, I don't want to be friends with them. I just never had any good girlfriends. I never had any people who I mean, until obviously Stacy, I'm saying like in general, I always had people coming to me like pretending to be a friend, and then they just wanted something from me, or they were just competitive with me and they just wanted to find out what I did so they can compete with me. Like, I don't have time for that. And Beachbody has given me grown relationships with people that love and support and care about me. And I never had that. That's another reason why I'm a coach. I'm like, oh my gosh, people actually care about me. And like, they're not trying to be bitchy to me. Like, what the hell? You know, like, that's huge for me. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. So this is recorded. So this is going to be interesting. It is what it is, man.
And I think it's good when you do your post. each time. You know what I mean? Like you can just breadcrumb your whys all the time. Like if you take a picture with your kids, you'd be like, you know, sitting with my family night, feeling so blessed that I'm having more family time and opportunities to share with my kids because of my coaching opportunities. You know, little things like that. Boom, you just sprinkled it in there. Like, you know, little tidbits. It's real easy to
Yes.
every day for yourself. Constant reminders for your own self when you put them out there for you. Make a post therapeutic for you,
Yes.
because you'll see the difference between a hurry up and rush post to a therapeutic real post.
Yep.
When I did my picture of Ryan and Kenzie last night, I got 120 likes on
Yep.
that
Yep.
post.
This
And
is
then I did one that was BS
I
and
don't want to
horrible.
cut you off. It's going to cut off, but
Yeah.
yes, I think that I absolutely everything you're saying is just be real with people, share
Yeah.
with them why you're doing this, and share it all of the time so that people can get to know you.
Yeah.
So, all right, love you guys. So glad you were on the call. I'm going to post it, unfortunately, and that's it. Love you. Talk to you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.